Hey heroes, welcome in. We are your hosts for hire. I am Lucas Rand. This is Kyle Cage. Today we just wanted to hang out with you guys. We are still trying to hit that elusive 10K. So if you please go on to Hosts4Hire podcast. That's Hosts4Hire with the number 4 and get us there. We will be eternally in your debt. It's just a little click, hit that subscribe. It will make our lives that much better and make your life hopefully just like 0.0% better. Like,
Yeah,
like
0.0001. That's all I'm
yeah.
hoping for.
Point zero, point zero percent.
Yeah. Point zero. Just we don't
No
want to make
better
your
at all.
life better. We just want you to subscribe and like, please.
That's exactly
Uh,
right.
Today we're just gonna be seeing what Colin's got for us. Some topics from him, maybe some letters, some
Colin, we miss
spilled
you.
milk. Doing a little crying over some spilled milk, maybe. We'll see. We'll get
Yeah,
into
we're
it.
just gonna pull from the hat. We're gonna chill. We want to chill with you guys. That's like the
Yes.
big like pièce de résistance of this podcast that we want to do. We just want to chill with you guys. We want to make a community.
Yeah. Talk about comic books and how they affect us and how important they are to us as people.
Yes.
How they've made our lives better, how they've helped us through hard times, all of it. Please get in the comments and let us know. Check out our other videos at Host for Hire podcast. Check out all of our other videos. We just
Yes.
released a Thunderbolts video that we think you'll like. Please check
Yes.
that out and let us know how you felt about it.
Because we still got Thunderbolts on the mind. I don't know about you
Yeah,
guys, but it's been like a week and a half now. It's still fresh. It's still fresh in the brain.
it's gonna be there for a minute too.
Indeed.
All right,
All right,
what is
Kyle.
it? What does Colin got?
I don't know. Let's find out. All right, buddy. What do you want to know about us? All right, Kyle. Do you think that Disney should make a connected animated universe with X-Men 97? And if so, which characters / shows do you think should come next in their animated universe? I'm
So,
100% on yes. They
oh yeah,
should make a
for
connected
sure.
animated universe. One, because they teased us already, and you shouldn't tease us if you're not gonna like deliver on that shit.
Well, and they've
Like with
also had it existed before. It existed
yep.
in the original ones in the
And like
90s between.
within X-Men 97, they brought them all back up. Like
Yes.
during like Magneto's like big like wipe of the planet, like they show Spider-Man, like Doctor Strange, like they Daredevil. They show all these characters, and I'm like, okay, now you have to do something with it.
Yeah. Here's the thing about that. So, my initial thought would be Daredevil or Spider-Man, right?
hmm
But
With Daredevil being
but
so recent,
and with Spider-Man having an animated
yeah,
show that's set in the past a little bit,
that's true.
like not
That's
quite
true.
as
God, that's
far,
so
but
true. Did
um
they drop? Oh, okay, guys. Here's an interesting question to you too, Kyle, and to all you guys watching. Did they
but
drop the ball? Uh, with making these shows not connected right away, like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Now, if we do get another Spider-Man to connect with X-Men 97, is it going to feel like too much?
it'll be a different universe, but it might feel oversaturated. That's where I was getting at. What if my initial response would be Daredevil or Spider Man, but it's kind of
Feel a little
oversaturated.
oversaturated.
Yeah,
I'm going to agree with you there.
Fantastic Four because we're about to get the movie. That would be another
Yeah,
choice.
that
That
I would
would
be a
be
little
great.
bit more open to. Like
Yeah,
Spider-Man just feels, it does feel a little oversaturated. Like if we
yeah.
were to get another separate like universe, like a whole
Version.
separate thing, it would feel like, damn, all right, a lot of Spider-Man going around
Yeah.
here. Like,
With that
uh,
with that being said, I'm trying to think of ones from the 90s that could come back and connect. That would be really
see,
good.
like one that I think would be really, really cool would be like something a little bit more disconnected from like the Earth. Like maybe like Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe
yeah.
like like Galactus, Silver Surfer, like that like type, like maybe like a
So
Heralds of
interesting,
Galactus show.
interesting. Here's another
You
question
know,
for you and you all out there. Uh, would you want them to reboot the old shows or come up with new ones that are connected to the
I am
90s
on the. I would
universe?
want them to come up with new ones
Interesting.
to fit into what they've done now with X-Men
Yeah.
97. Even though X-Men 97 is that bridge from the 90s here,
It is like a reboot or
yeah, I would
like
like
a
them to use that as like this like
continuation.
sweet bridge.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the next one the next one should be a
or maybe
reboot
like just like an
like
Avengers one, Kyle. Because like they show you Captain America and Iron Man, in like their classic looks in X-Men
Yeah,
97. Like maybe like since it's an X-Men show and it's not necessarily like a specific characters show, like we're talking with Daredevil, like and Spider-Man and all these other characters, maybe it'd be cool to do like another team. Like I said, like maybe like
interesting.
Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, so that
That's
it's
that's a
not,
good idea.
and then they can like build this world with like all these like characters like that. Daredevil exists and he's out there. Spider-Man is out there. Like,
Yeah.
but we're following the Avengers and the
And
X-Men
rather than
story.
like having a Captain America show and an Iron Man show and then building an animated Avengers, just
Hmm.
having it have already been, which they, like
Exactly.
you said, with X Men '97 being a continuation, them picking up right where the old shows left off,
So
and there was
curious
five
about what
years
season
of
2.
5 years of world building in that universe prior,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
Silver Surfer is a part of. In my opinion, that should be what they do, is they should have a continuation of the Silver Surfer show
That would be
that was
sweet.
in that universe, and then the next one be a brand new Avengers or Guardians, like a show that isn't a continuation of an original show but is a part of that
Yeah,
universe.
and it would be perfect because like there wasn't like a '90s like Guardians of the Galaxy show.
Oh
There
no,
was like
yeah.
Avengers ones, but like you don't necessarily have to pull from those.
And it was later,
Um,
and I don't know if they were connected. Like, I don't know
I
if
don't think
like
so.
those ones, like Avengers Assemble and all those ones, were from like
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think so. It
like
is the Guardians
it,
of the Galaxy show and Avengers Assembled, like those like newish era ones are
yeah, and
connected.
yeah, not
But like the ones
Avengers
from the '90s, I
Assembled, but
I don't
like
think so.
yeah, interesting. Because I
Yeah,
know, like I
tell
said,
us what
like
you guys think.
yeah.
Who would be the character or like team that you would want to see like in the next like animated like TV show? And would you want it to connect to X-Men 97? Like, do you want this to create a MCU animated universe? MCAU?
Yeah, I guess Marvel animated
Or yeah,
something
MAU?
universe. Yeah,
Mao?
MAU.
Do you want to see the Mao? I would like to see the Mao. Please let us know, and like specifically what characters, because like obviously we didn't hit on all of them.
Yeah,
What's one that just came up to my head is Ghost Rider.
that's a good
That would be
one.
awesome. I don't necessarily know how he would possibly fit in with anything,
See,
but I just
see, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was just thinking. We didn't even take the other side of it because both of us would want it all to connect. Is if you want shows that don't connect, that just like have its
is a
own,
show.
yeah, its own style, its own thing.
Damn, I didn't even
Uh,
think about that.
yeah. What would you want? What would you want it to be? And I think Ghost Rider would be a good one for that.
A great one in like that like scratchy sketch style
Hmm.
animation, kind of like Arcane. You know what I'm talking
Yes.
about? Where it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
that, like
Oh, graffiti almost.
yes, yes. Oh God, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
I
That'd
say,
be.
guys, tell us if you agree with this, and then tell us your own. I think I say for that, I'd want Ghost Rider or like a like Heralds show,
Yeah.
like a show about just like the Heralds, like
Nova. Yeah.
Terrax, Nova,
Terrax.
Silver
Yeah.
Surfer, Airwalker. Like just like some of the cooler ones that it would just be cool to see that whole in that style, in that same
Yeah.
like splatter paint,
Specifically. Yeah.
graffiti, like Arcane style. Please tell us if you agree with that, and let's get that made. Let's push that shit as fans. Let's just like be the overwhelming voice that they cannot ignore.
We got to consider. We're gonna consider that a letter to the editor as well, right there,
Damn
because
right,
we
because
need
we
to.
gotta
That's yeah. We need to send them letters.
send a
Help
Raven,
us send a rate. Help us get the word. Help us get the word out, please, please.
please. Our two voices are not enough alone. I assure you this.
No, that's why we started this.
Colin, question,
Topic. Things to
topic.
say.
That's right.
My eyeball is itchy. Oh my god.
This is just a blank piece of paper. All right, Colin. another question or topic.
Colin's mind is blank. He
Colin,
doesn't
what the
know.
hell? Oh, okay. Here's actually a really interesting question, and the topic of like Marvel and the MCU. Colin wants to know, Kyle, and all of you lovely people out there, do you think that the MCU should have an end, like that, like it should end?
Interesting.
Because like obviously, like they have different sagas and they're having like all these different things, but like, do you think that like the MCU should just eventually have a point where they stop and it either reboots, but it's not the MCU anymore? Because like there's a lot of ways they could reboot the MCU and start like characters over. But like, do you think it'd be more impactful to do something like that, or for like there to just be an end?
I think because of, okay, because of how much content there is, how many different stories, different worlds, different things, they can go forever if they want. They can pull from
That's what I
different
mean.
things. But personally, I want them to do very much what the DC AMU and Tomorrowverse just did, where eventually they take everything and they
Consolidate it and
consolidate it and reboot it into a new
give it
world
an end
where give it an end, consolidate everything, make it make sense, and then move on to the next set,
to the
to the
new
next
world.
to the new world where some people come back, some people don't. You could have things like Elizabeth Olsen in 25, 30 years coming back as, an older
Scarlet.
Scarlet Witch who's
That'd
like,
be awesome.
like an Agnes style,
Because
like
like my immediate thought when
character.
I think of that question is I do think it should have an end, and the reason I say that is because how good of a movie Endgame was.
Hmm.
That some stories should just end. Like, could they have like brought in another Iron Man, saved him, made Tony be a part of every single movie going on forever, forward, forever, forever? Like, yes. Like, it was so much more beautiful, so much more impactful that like Cap's story and Tony's story like came to a finale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was just like an end, and they're not back.
And they won't
Like,
be.
and they won't be.
But
And that
they were replaced,
right.
which
Uh,
is like which is kind of.
especially because like here's like where my thought is on that. At first, if you were to ask me this question before Endgame, like before the like Infinity Saga was completed and how amazing the MCU was, I would say I want the MCU to just keep making movies forever, nonstop, every year, 5 movies a year, until eternity fades out. Uh, but like now like my brain's thinking a little bit, maybe like, man, like maybe we've gone too far. Like
Yeah.
maybe like an end would be something that like would not only be like beautiful and like really like impactful and really good, but like maybe like what the MCU like needs. Like a fresh reboot of sorts.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there's so many things that they could pull from, but it also seems like they're not necessarily wanting to. Like, I'm not 100% if this is true, but I heard rumor that in Doomsday we're kind of like skipping to God Emperor Doom.
Hmm.
So like there is like all of these things, but they're just kind of like skipping so many things that like it makes it that if they were to go back and explore the like an origin Doom story, it'd almost feel weird.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Unless
Like they're just like
unless they do a hard reboot first.
right, yeah, like
Um,
Kang. Like we
but
can't necessarily touch Kang anymore. We can't necessarily like you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
after God Emperor Doom, like that's gonna be like a big thing. We can't necessarily like go back to a lot of these things that we've like set up because
they've
most
kind they've kind of pushed too far, too fast, too
yeah,
far,
and
too
they've
far, too
defeated most
fast.
villains permanently. Like the only
Yeah.
villains that necessarily haven't been permanently defeated that I can think of is like Ultron, like the High Evolutionary.
Yeah. I
I'd
kind
like to
of.
see him come back, like more robotic. I think that
Hmm.
that would be really really cool. Like
I mean,
after
really, like the only place to go from here is like more modern
yeah,
stuff, like Null, like could be where
this
like
is
could be
this
one
is
of
true, and
like
that's
the things
rumored
they
to
go
be a
with.
thing that is is
But
is going down.
but here's my
There's a
thing.
finite
A
place
lot
of
of well,
amount though.
like there's a finite amount of time that a lot of these people can play superheroes,
Facts.
because like there's a
Yeah.
reality of like
And there's like a
they.
finite amount of characters too that you can introduce and be
Hmm.
new and fresh that people care about. Like
Exactly,
there
like
is a finite amount of them.
we
The
saw
X-Men
cat.
coming in is kind of like I feel like they're saving the X-Men because that's
Yeah.
almost like their last like juicy bit of characters that they can introduce to the MCU that haven't been. It's like the
Yeah.
X-Men and Ghost Rider. Like I can't think of another like juicy bits of characters that like haven't been used yet. You
Yeah,
know?
for the most part, that's about it.
At
Like
least like those like big names. Like those big
and
like
well,
S
the
tier names.
ones that haven't are coming in now, like the Fantastic
Yes,
Four, and
exactly right. That's
like
exactly it. Uh,
so that's interesting. Like they're gonna have to introduce like well, they introduced the Celestials, so like
mhm.
clearly that they're gonna eventually do
But they
something
did
with
and
that.
didn't. Like that they're like being real weird and loosey goosey about? Like, is Erishim coming back? Like, is
So
any of
like
that
exactly,
happening?
they've set themselves up for a lot of different variables and potential
Hmm.
outcomes. So I think it's kind of keep us guessing so that
So
we don't
you're
know
on the bit
exactly
that they
what's
should
going to
like
happen.
find a way to reboot in a like a beautiful way.
I think eventually, so I'm of two minds. So I think eventually these people who are in their late 30s, early 40s who are playing these superheroes in 10 years aren't going to want to play these superheroes anymore. We're
100%.
not we're not going to want to see them necessarily. We're going to want to see
100%.
a nice conclusion the same way we saw Iron Man
Hmm.
and Captain
And
America.
there's gonna come
But
a point as well for me as a fan, at least, where I'm gonna want to see Iron Man again. Not like
yeah,
Ironheart, not like Iron
yeah,
Lad, Tony Stark Iron Man. Like I will want to see that eventually at some point again.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like even though
Like,
RDJ was like amazing and like I don't necessarily know that anything that could top that. But like there's
as of
gonna
right
come
now,
a
but in
point
20,
that
30
I'm gonna want
years,
it again. You know, I'm gonna want
exactly.
it again.
Like, but my other mind of it is that I really think they have a lot of potential with the young Avengers and being able to watch the arc of these kids
Th-
becoming
That's
adults,
a good
be
point.
going in all the way. But again, that requires a person being willing to play a character
True.
for
That's
40
a good point.
years.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. And also like it really takes like one of those like character names that has gravitas that we're gonna want to watch. Like I don't necessarily
I can't
know
think of any right
who in the
now.
MCU right now I necessarily want to watch
So
play
that's a
this character for
yes.
40
So
years.
so that is a good that's what makes me think that they need a reboot of some kind. That they
Hmm.
need to, maybe not necessarily a full hard reboot, but there needs to be, we need to have characters
Yeah,
that we're going to care about for
I
longevity
agree.
again, because we
I
don't really have
100%
any
agree
of
with that.
those
I
right
don't necessarily know if I want that to take the path of a reboot or if just like an
now. A
actual
reset,
genuine
a hard
end
reset.
and
Yeah.
then like years later a new beginning that of something that is not connected, you
Yeah.
know, like not
Well,
connected at
so
all.
so in that case, we're it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take quite a bit of time, five,
Yeah,
10 years to finish this out. 10 years of not having anything really, but there's so much money there now that that's
yeah,
never
no,
gonna
I
happen. So
agree with
like
that. No, I agree with that.
realistically, like I think a hard reboot would probably do a better service to the
Yeah,
fans and a finality. But I think realistically, we're gonna get more of a soft reboot. We might get a few, changes,
yeah.
universe
I mean, there's a few
destroying
characters
things.
that they've already set up that can like that have like potential like for that level of power.
Yeah,
You know, like we
Franklin.
like Franklin is like in gestation. You
Yeah.
know, so like he's gonna be in existence like here. And then there's like infinity, like love, I guess. Like she is like touched by like infinity or eternity. I think it's
Yeah,
infinity.
Eternity. Yeah,
Is it eternity?
I think it's.
Uh
I don't remember.
Either way, she's touched by one of the like primordial essences of the universe. So like not necessarily sure what her level of power is. But
Her
like
her potential is very
her
high.
potential is extremely high. But mostly Franklin. Like I think like
Hmm.
Franklin maybe because I'm when I heard that she was pregnant and it's gonna most likely be with Franklin because he's the firstborn.
Yeah, why wouldn't
Uh,
it? Who else
I
would
got
be?
immediately nervous because like it's kind of like having him in comic stories. Just his presence makes the scale of things just
We
have to be
talked about
either
it.
enormous or very weird.
Well, we talked about it with Sentry, where he's one of those big red buttons, like
Yes,
Sentry, where
right.
like he break glass in
Just
case of
his
emergency.
existence in a story, whether it be the MCU or like even in a comic line, him existing in that comic line.
Means some shit's gonna go down.
Exactly right. So like I don't at first I was very nervous about him being in the MCU just because like it means all these implications of like
Yeah.
power scale and shit. But maybe it would be cool to use him as a tool for one of these hard or soft resets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
To have him just kind of reframe things,
yeah, maybe
rather than like
unintentionally, maybe
reset.
intentionally,
Yeah.
but like,
Like, but like rather than like completely reset, have him be able to
because
reframe
then there
things.
can be some
Or
through lines to the
Mhm.
MCU whilst being new and like all
yes.
this stuff,
See,
you
that's my
know?
hope, is that they can call back, like in 20, 30 years, they can call back to the characters and people who
Yeah.
played those
That
characters
that
now,
would be like the
you
like
know.
best case scenario.
Yeah.
And you guys, tell us what you think. Do you think the MCU should have an end? Do you think it should like have an abrupt end,
Yeah,
like
we
that it
went a
should
little long with
be?
that one.
Yeah. Do you think that it should have like a reboot, a soft reboot, a hard reboot? Do you think that uh there should be through lines to the MCU? Do you want it to be completely disconnected? Do you want the MCU to never even try to bring a finality to itself and just keep telling stories and keep telling and making movies until
Yeah.
forever? That is always
Yeah.
also an option, and if that's what you want, tell us about it. Tell us why.
Please tell us why you would want that, because history shows that that would not be a good idea.
Yeah,
It's already
we're going long.
becoming
We've
an
never seen, it's
issue.
unprecedented what we've seen. Like we've never, first
Yeah.
of all, the MCU is the first connected universe, like in
Like of its
films
kind?
of
No,
its
yeah,
kind.
ever.
Not that
Yeah.
it's the first connected universe, but the first, it's spanning like 35 movies,
Yeah, over a
you
decade.
know?
Like,
So it's a,
15
we're
years.
already in unprecedented waters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I guess the question is like, do we just keep going? Or do we try to find a way to like wrap this all up
And start anew.
and
Because
start
that's
anew?
because the
Yeah.
like I was saying, the money is so much that
Yeah.
they're not just going to just end it, like
Right.
they're gonna end
The
it,
ball
and
is a rolling.
it's gonna make a shitload of money, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, well, we gotta keep going now somehow. So hopefully there's some thought process to it. I don't
Yeah, I
I
really hope so.
let us know what you guys think they should do. Mostly, that's like I really want some ideas
Yeah, I'm
on
really
how
curious
they,
about
because
that too. That's
I
a really
don't
good
really. I'm
question,
having
Colin.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of any like of my own ideas of how they could end it, other
Oh
than
no, yeah,
like you said, like
that was
Franklin
like,
or the Beyonder, like with Secret Wars and all of
take
that.
like an
Like,
incursion level, like just some extremely big level event. I
yeah,
think not
or
only
they
would
could
it be
just sort
cool
of
because they could like
end.
build.
But yeah,
But
they
yeah, you
could.
guys, please, please, please tell us what you feel it would be the best way to end the MCU. If it should have an end, if it should be a reboot, anything that you think about it. As always, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us for the little bit or the long bit that you did. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please, please, please subscribe, like, share, all of the things. We're trying to hit that elusive 10K. Boy, do it be elusive, because we jumped quick and then we are just stagnated. We are trying to hit that 10K. It's going to push us above. So if we can rely on you guys for that, we will be eternally in your debts. Thank you, thank
Yes.
you, thank you as always. And we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.